talk about sovereignty, we're Native people. Our land is our sovereignty, and that in turn is our identity. It has always been the utmost important to protect and preserve the land. Hi, my name's Andy Work Jr. I'm president for the Fort Belknap Indian community, real tribal chairman, getting ready to take Gil Birmingham, who's a TV tribal chairman, out to the Powell and Lodge Bowl here in Fort Belknap.
You know, like you and I, we're friends, right? We're buddies now, we're bros.
Chairman to chairman.
Chairman to chairman, that's exactly it.
The chairman, the president of your tribal council, which I understand is up for re-election sometime soon, and I might be interested in running against you there, Andrew. So if there's some tips you can give me how you got to your position.
And we're a large land-based tribe. You know, our reservation's almost 700,000 acres. You know, for us, even though, you know, we're not a rich tribe, we're rich in our land.
Right.
You know,
right.
and what's more important than that? You know, it's who we are as Native people, and you know, that and each other is all we have left.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Our water is so important because that's obviously one of the biggest parts of this relating to Keystone, is the impact that other pipelines or other natural resource development has had on water.
And you're now having issues with the pipeline coming through your lands now.
It's crossing our ancestral homelands, you know, our territory, our treaty area.
Sacred lands.
Natalie Landreth. I'm a senior staff attorney and litigation manager at the Native American Rights Fund. I'm currently one of 5 litigators at the Native American Rights Fund that represent both Fort Belknap and the Rosebud Sioux in challenging the routing of the Keystone Pipeline through their lands and resources. The Keystone XL pipeline is like a shortcut. So the entire pipeline is being created to cut off a corner of an existing pipeline and create more convenience for a foreign corporation, formerly known as TransCanada, now called TC Energy, to route its oil from Canada all the way down to the Gulf Coast. It is not even intended for US markets, it is intended for China, and it creates only 35 permanent jobs in the United States. The byproduct of the tribes enforcing the treaty is to protect the water resources against depredation by this foreign oil company. What it will also do is protect all of the people in the United States who rely on what is called the Oglala Aquifer, which is the largest groundwater resource in the United States. It waters 30% of American agriculture and provides drinking water to millions of people. And so many, many Americans are benefiting from these treaties and the tribe's enforcement of them.
It has a lot of history, so how does the res mitigate, you know, these influences of pipelines coming in and possibly affecting the landscape to the degree that it is?
Well, you know, just trying to stress to people, you know, especially our own community or even beyond that, you know, the impact that they have. What happened with that mine, you know, up in the mountains. If you look on the map, there's a little notch on the southern end of the reservation. And the reservation was established in 1887, 1888. In 1895, they did what they call the Grinnell Agreement, but they found gold up there.
You know, they tore down the mountain and it impacted the water. In the late 90s, they found acid mine drainage in the water, you know, on top of the mountain where the water flows down, right? Gravity flow, it flows down. The mining company at the time, you know, they seen the writing on the wall and they filed for bankruptcy and they left town and they left us with the mess. And, you know, you have people that come in and they do those kind of things and then they leave and they're not held accountable. That water still flows by, you know, our celebration grounds and our powwow grounds and our Sundance grounds, you know, even where our kids swim. And that's why this is so important. Relating that to what could happen or what has happened with other development like that or like Keystone. And that ain't right. You know, our land is very important, you know, and our treaties are very important. Our sacred sites are very important because, you know, even though we're on our existing reservation now, we have very important concerns about the Keystone Pipeline because of our treaties and our sacred and ancestral sites, those sites being the pathway of that pipeline.
Which is really not a matter of if they leak, it's when they leak.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I just seen that in the news recently. I think it's over in North Dakota, South Dakota. There's another leak over there.
So we still have sacred sites out there and areas out there that are very, very important to us. You know, where our ancestors were, and some of them died. You know, they're still there. Getting back to our treaties again, you know, that was part of our agreement. You know, that would be protected.
We have these cultural resources that are in the path of these potential pipelines. Michael Blackwolf, I'm the Tribal Historic Preservation Officer for the Fort Belknap Indian community. How would you like it if I went to Washington, D.C. and wanted to put a big mall right in the middle of Arlington Cemetery? And I had complete control of Arlington Cemetery, and yet I reach out to everybody around that area and I ask them for their input in how they want me to protect Arlington Cemetery. People are going to come to me and they're going to say, my grandfather's buried there, my father's buried there. And then I'm going to turn around and say, well, thank you for your input, and I'm really appreciate your concern and your issues, but you know what, I'm going to go ahead and build my mall anyway. But don't worry about your grandfather or your ancestors or your aunts or your uncles, whoever's buried there. I'm going to dig them all up, and I'm going to take them back to Montana. I'm going to put them in boxes, and I'm going to put them in a closet in the back in a vault. They'll be safe there. I would like to see sometime in the future that we can all come to some kind of a mutual respect and understanding for each other's cultures, for each other's histories and stories.
Gosh, this is just such beautiful country out
Yeah,
here.
thinking about generations down the road, protecting this land, like our former tribal leaders, and making sure that we're looking out for our grandkids and their grandkids.
7 generations.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
You know, it parallels the character I play in Yellowstone, Thomas Rainwater, using the casino revenues to buy back as much land as he possibly can, because it's the only way you can assure protecting it for the way it was before, the colonists came in.
But yeah, you'll have to make a run for office.
Well, I guess
I'll even campaign for you. After this, I'm done. But
okay.
Campaign for
Well,
you. Never know. These people that take a liking to you, they might adopt you here. After being on Yellowstone,
you think I'm
real
prepped
popular.
now? Yeah, you think I'll be prepped?
Oh yeah.
Just playing one now, I can just be one.
Yeah. Why not? So here we are at the powwow. We made it.
All this work that we do, it ends up right here with the people. That's why we fight. We stand up for what's right, for the people that came before us, for our land, our water, our everything. Our people, and our land, and each other. It's all we have left. And so we're going to keep at it. Appreciate you coming here.
Well, support you in any way we can.
Thank you,
brother.
Thank you.